Bonjour and hello everyone. Welcome to Queer French Farmhouse, the podcast about being queer as an expat living in France and renovating a house, or in my case, half a chateau. Welcome back to the podcast, you guys. Today I want to talk about basically summing up the last... How many was it? It was 12 weeks. 12 weeks, 3 months of podcasting. And can it be 12 months? Oh my god, it's like really 12, oh my god, 12 weeks. That's absolutely crazy. I didn't think that the podcast was going on for such a long time already. I mean, it's time to wrap up season 1, and I wanted to just talk about how we all felt during this first season and what there is to come and how I feel with all the changes on the stuff that happened in my life, and yeah, just give you a quick summary once the summer has stopped, because basically we're kind of breezing into fall. I mean, we're experiencing super high temperatures here in France. I think we've had a whole week of over 30, which is like the high 90s, I think. So it's been quite the ride. Let me just quickly take a sip of my iced coffee. Oh, there you see. It's like I'm using reusable straws. And... so that's one of the changes that is upcoming for the podcast. So I will take a little podcast break of, I think, about a month or two. Probably also to pre-produce some stuff. And let's be honest, I mean, who doesn't like batch produce? And it's just otherwise you would have to have 8 arms, 2 brains. I don't know. It's otherwise, it's just logistically impossible. So the biggest change to the podcast will be that there will be a visual side of the podcast. So I need to find a room inside the chateau in which to podcast from, in which you will find a setting that's nice. So I'm kind of contemplating between the living room, which is a very formal setup, or my bedroom, which also has a sofa inside, so it wouldn't be anything weird. But yeah, I'm kind of in between those two, because all the other rooms are a bit where I record right now is my office and boudoir, and it's it's not the nicest. It's a beautiful room, don't get me wrong, and I really love it, and I really love how I made it over and everything. But for recording, it's not the smartest way, because my desk and everything where I record is actually by the window, so it would mean I would have to record against the light, and that's just not so good and not so smart. And there's a similar situation in my bedroom, but I can have it in a more kind of controlled lighting environment. So, and I also, which reminds me, I actually still have lighting in the apartment in Düsseldorf somewhere. So I will have to get those light boxes in October when I'm there. But yeah, it's been such a crazy ride, and I mean, I know that there's some of you following, and I know that we are a tiny community here, and I know we're not a very big community, and I'm just hoping that we can spread the love and kind of share more and kind of reach out to more people. So that's kind of my goal also with putting it on YouTube and actually doing a video podcast. It will still remain all the other platforms, and you can listen to it on the go, but you will have the option to see me ramble on, and it will be more like a little FaceTime conversation between us two. So that's kind of the biggest change that's about to happen. So, and I'm still planning for it and trying to figure out how and why and all the logistics of it. And also like there's gonna be changes to my YouTube because I've decided to go English, because I also found that I just get higher engagement when I'm on my English speaking content. And I think that also brings me to like I'm in a weird position here, because I speak 4 languages, and I speak German, I speak French, French, yeah, I speak French, but it's not amazing, but I do speak French. I speak English, and I speak Polish. So if you speak more than one language, sometimes, and more than one language quite fluently, it kind of gets hard to like see where you want to plant your audience. And I have kind of the impression that if I'm sticking to English, I can't speak Spanish because I think like the Spanish speaking community is even bigger. But kind of like everybody kind of speaks English, so I can reach more people when I speak English. So, and I feel very, very comfortable. Actually, I feel most comfortable speaking in English, to be all honest, because it's just been the language of my jobs that I had taken. It's been like my main language for such a long time, and I've rarely spoken German during all my professional career. So I just feel really comfortable in it, and I've been speaking English like since I was a little child. So I learned it really quickly. And because my mom actually was afraid that I might not speak Polish, and my aunt she moved to the States before we even moved to Germany from Poland. So she was really scared that I might not have a language to communicate in. So that's why I got a private teacher when I was really little. And I started spending all my summer vacation, like 6 weeks in the States, in Texas, also touring the States. But so that helped me a lot to kind of like, learn the language, be more immersed in the language. Also, like my aunt married an American, and so that family kind of got wider and bigger and more contact with English-speaking people, which really helped, because you had to speak that language. You had to, like, there was no other way. So yeah, that's it about the language of it all. And yeah, it's been an intense year so far. Like 2023 has been intense. I mean, the last 2 years have been intense with COVID and it affecting us all. And I mean, I said COVID and Anita growled. If you're new, Anita is my Whippet mix. She's my dog. She just growled when I said COVID. I guess she didn't like COVID that much, did she? Oh, well, what's happening there? There you could see her bark. Yeah. Oh, maybe it's a word that she doesn't like. I don't know what's happening here. So, well, it was all tough for all of us during those 2 years, and but let me take her up on my. You see, in the video you would actually see her, but I've taken her up on my lap now because I think she's a bit distressed about something. I don't know about what. So we're doing a bit of cuddling. Oh yes, it's gonna be fine. So 2023 has just been quite the ride. I mean, I am getting a divorce, I moved to France, I have to deal with so many admin, I have to still deal with shit tons of admin in Germany, I have just tons and tons of work to do. I've had this really weird, in spring, if you've been following my social media, in spring I had a very peculiar project in which people actually cancelled a cooperation, and they were really really unreasonably mean and very strange people, didn't want to talk to us about it, didn't want to address the problem. They just said no. and we didn't even know what happened. So I mean, that's a whole other story. And I made a vlog in German about it, but yeah, I just don't want to go back there. It's like so many negative memories, and I think now it's also like all the negative memories are attached to the new productions coming up, and so I'm like dreading that this will happen again, and this makes me also like not want to do my artistic work, and it really pulls me down, I have to say. So it's been a crazy year. I mean, we've had my boyfriend's mom passing away, and after quite a strugglesome illness, and it's just been so intense. It's now we need to clear out her house. We've started with things like this, and like I know that it's very emotional for him, and he has had a ton of work that he had to do. So I was also trying to relieve him a bit and to be there for him and everything. I mean, obviously, I love that man, right? So and opening up my business, renovating a home all by myself, like literally, like these two hands have renovated like a house, basically, like a whole floor of a house, like 3 rooms that I've redone, basically. I made 2 bathrooms happen. I made new wastewater piping. I just like the list goes on and on and on. I mean, I've changed so many rooms around. I've had so many ideas, and in between, I really felt like I was really hitting rock bottom, and I really felt like, and that's why I also did this podcast about burnout and how not to burn out, because in between, I really felt like I was not being creative, and I just had to step back, and like now taking summer a bit easier. And after my mental breakdown, which I had like just 2 weeks ago, you can go watch that video on YouTube about where I'm talking, like last week's vlog was about that mental breakdown, and it was just like so exhausting. And after that, I just took my time. After that, I just was like, okay, I need to rearrange, coordinate, redo stuff, and like this, I could just like actually survive, like actually like and actually enjoy living here as well, because I really love being here. But then at one point, I was just not enjoying it, because it was all about like working, getting stuff done, and everything. It was just like crazy, so much things to do, and so many anxieties also. So I'm quite glad we're over that phase. And probably it will come back. I mean, like, anxieties come and go, it's just like it is what it is. But generally speaking, I think I'm a bit better, and I have 1 more week of work, and then I have a week of vacation, and I cannot wait, you guys. Like, really, I cannot wait. It's like I'm seeing these vacations on the horizon there, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's like I really I just really want to be there right now. And we're just going to Ile de Ré, which is like about 200 kilometers from here, right off the west coast of France. So it's really not far, but I just really want to see something else. And I mean, already like the difference between here and the west coast is just like so crazy. It's like totally different houses. Everything's a bit more kind of white and very, very colorful, shutters and doors, and lots of palm trees. I mean, it really feels totally different. It's a totally different vibe than here. Here you have like those old stone houses, like also colorful shutters, but not like as colorful. The color palette is a bit more like restricted, I'd say. And you have those beautiful villages, and everything's like more kind of like huge pastures, lots of space, lots of green. So that's kind of more like where we live in. But just 2 hours away are beaches and pine forests and like very beachy vibes. I mean, it's kind of, it looks a bit, I find it does look a bit like that area around California, around Big Sur. it's just like it kind of reminds me of that, like especially like the Côte Sauvage. And yeah, so if you've ever been, or if you need a comparison, that's kind of like my best comparison to make. So yeah, I've learned a lot of lessons in those 3 months, and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about podcasting. I've learned more about social media. I think like the one thing that I'm still like struggling with right now is, and I think I've heard it from so many creators, is imposter syndrome. I really feel like, oh, but I have nothing to say, or the things I say are not valuable enough, or who needs me? You know, it's like all these kind of like, or am I really good at this? Am I good at like talking you through like advice for different things, or for renovating? And it's just like, yeah, I think I'm suffering of a huge imposter syndrome right now, but it's my thing to work through, and I'm getting better every day, and I'm seeing myself more and more as a creator. And actually, like, I would love to make this serious step into being a creator full time, and to actually sustain my living off of it, and switch from the artistic side. You know, it's still a very artistic way of expressing yourself, but in a different way than I've been doing through dancing and choreography. So I think it's about like your mindset and how you want to deal with things, and how you see yourself, and that it's okay to see yourself in a new position and a new light, and that it's okay to make it yours. You know, you're not a copy of someone. You are you. And I think that's the process I'm going through, and maybe you are going through that process as well at this time that you're listening. And I'm telling you, it's all fine, it's all cool. Just go with it, and don't be too hard on yourself. That's what I'm trying right now. And just take the steps that are necessary, and take them slowly, because I've been trying to like go full-time creator for a few years, but then I've made such drastic changes that I couldn't withstand the change. I couldn't be consistent inside that change, and then it was just too much pressure. And so I never saw the results that I wanted to have, or that I wished for. And now I think I'm ready to take like those baby steps that will get me to a position to maybe in a year be a full-time creator. Who knows? Maybe in 12 months. Maybe a year or 12 months are the same. I mean, maybe in 6 months. That's what I wanted to say. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and you have to be accepting, and you have to like go with every situation, and accept what comes your way, and do your best. And you can't do more, all honestly. So yeah. That's like all the things I've learned along these last 3 months, or actually like if we want to take like this whole year, this 8 months this year has been going on. It's been exhausting, but at the same time I've learned so much about myself, because I've spent so much time alone, and I've learned so much about like where I want to be, what I want to do. And I think it's like slowly taking its shape. It's like a sculpture, and there's like with each kind of thing that happens to me, with each situation, I'm kind of like sculpting more and more the vision of my life and how I want life to be. And I think it's really like it's really great. And I think I'm really like at a stage where I'm growing and I'm progressing, but very naturally. And sometimes sometimes it hurts, sometimes it's like growing pain, and sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it's not easy also mentioning stuff, because I also wanted to, in my relationship, I wanted to be different. I wanted to like speak about stuff. I want to mention stuff that maybe was hurt, that I found hurtful, or that I didn't find like good, or that I that did something with me, you know, emotionally. Usually I would have eaten it up and just like exploded at one point or imploded. But this time, like this year, I really wanted to make this change. I wanted to say, like, you know what? If something happens, I'm gonna address it like right away. It's not because I don't love you. It's because it did this and this to me, and it triggered that and that, and it's because of my history and because of all the things, the sum of our experiences and everything. We've just, yeah, I feel like this, and these are the emotions that are going on inside of me, and I just need you to understand. And from this moment we can move on, and we can actually like talk about it, and we can see what we both can do differently, or how we can react in those situations without like hurting one another. Or yeah, that's it. So I think I've really, I've grown a lot. I've grown as a person, I've grown as a handyman, I've grown as a partner. I think I really did like a huge step towards like being the person I want to be. And it's not easy. I'm telling you, it doesn't come naturally, and it's not super easy. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of thinking. It's a lot of like letting thoughts run and allowing them to just be and to take over and to like do something with you. But it's fine. It's life. It's life, and it's just, yeah. What can I say? I think anything I say more is just gonna go around and round, and I think I've gotten to the point of it. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. It means the world to me, because like I said, I'm really trying to build something here, and you are the very first ones who are supporting me, and I'm forever thankful for that. And I hope you can spread the word, and I'll also do my best to like grow. And I will see you in a couple of months with some new content, with some new stories, things that happened. Yeah, and we'll be able to see each other, or I mean, you'll be able to see me. I won't be able to see you. Honestly, no, I don't think I will. But you will see Miss Anita, who is literally sitting on my lap and trying to give me kisses everywhere. She's like really, like, the moment I touch her, she's trying to give me like kisses all over my hands, my elbows. Like, then she sits up and tries to kiss my face. And we don't really like dog kisses that much. Oh well, it is what it is. She's a lovely little creature. So have a beautiful Saturday if you're listening if you're listening to this podcast on a Saturday. If not, have a beautiful day, night, wherever you are. Thank you so much. Follow the podcast and subscribe if you're listening to it on YouTube. And yes, I shall talk to you very, very soon. And I'm wishing you a beautiful fall season with lots of joy and lots of queerness and love and all the things that you want. And all that's left to say is à bientôt et au revoir from the southwest of France.